YouTube friends, welcome back to Jackie at Gone Potty Gardening. Today I'm going to be sowing or planting my second early potatoes. Now there they are. Usually I would planted them on St Patrick's Day, but we've had so much wet weather that I've hung on a bit longer, and yeah, till now. So I'm going to plant them today, and the main crop probably in a couple of weeks. So I've got all my pots outside ready. I put a little bit of compost in each, and we'll go out and plant the potatoes. Now after I've planted the potatoes, they do come up fairly quickly, the little shoots, and I'll have to keep putting more compost on the top until I reach the top of the bucket. But in the bottom, before I put the potatoes, I'm going to mix in some blood, fish and bone and some potato fertilizer, because most of you probably know already, but potato plants grow upwards and the potatoes come off of the upward stalk. So yeah, let's get planting. I've actually put all these pots all along the edge of the house. It will protect them from the wind and stuff like that. It does get quite warm there as well, so it's an ideal spot for them. So I've got a small amount of compost. There's probably about an inch in the bottom there. It's mixed with two different types of compost. I'm just using up what I had actually. But yeah, I'm going to add a bit of blood, fish and bone. And some potato fertilizer. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a mix. It's all in the bottom there. And what I'll do is once they growing and that, I shall still feed them with a bit of that throughout the growing season. But that's mixed well in there. And these are called Purple Rain. And they've been chitting for about a month. They've got small little chits on the top. So I should just put them in the thing with those little chip bits pointing upwards. There's another one, look. Put it upwards there. I'll probably put about 4 in this bucket because they're quite a nice size, these bigger ones. And then what I want to do is top that bucket up to cover those potatoes. I'm using an enriched compost with on ends, and it's quite fibrous. It's quite nice actually. And this was from a local shop, Aldi. And I probably will have to go out and buy more compost because I will need to top them up. Like I say, they do grow quite quickly once they've been planted. And you have to be careful as well because of the your frost date, you know, because the frost can get the potatoes. Sometimes they can recover, but sometimes they don't. So it's better to err on the side of a bit of caution. And you know, if you do think you're going to get some cold weather, to cover them with this fleece. I'm not going to go mad covering them while they're covered, but I mean, I'm going to need to buy some more compost. But for now, that's them covered. And like I said, it'll probably only be about 3 or 4 days, and I'll have to top it up. I'll end up topping it right up to the top eventually. So yeah, that's the first pot done. So I've watered all those potatoes in now, those Purple Rain. Here come all the dogs because they can smell the fertilizer in the buckets. They're a nightmare. But yeah, so all I need to do, like during the week, is keep an eye on them and top them up when they come through. I expect there's quite a few of you have got dogs, but the other day I was putting some chicken manure pellets in the blueberry bushes and topping it up with soil, Anyway, I thought the dogs are quiet and they're eating the bloody chicken pellets out of the pots. Nightmare, honestly. These are all the blueberry bushes that I've put some feed in, and there's also some fruit trees there. There's a plum, Victoria, a cherry, and we've got two Bramley apples, so I'll be having to plant them during the week. I want to add some feed to the garlic beds as well. There's quite a few there and there's some around there as well. So I do want to add some feed to that. Obviously I'll have to do it at night when the dogs are not around and mix it in. This is the long bed that I built last year. All the onions are coming up nicely in there, and I've planted a few more raspberry canes, so it fills that whole lot. So they should be nice once they start bushing out. The pear tree is just starting to get its little buds, which is lovely to see because I thought the goats had ruined it, you know. No, that's really good. These are some antirrhinums that have overwintered, which is great. We don't get it as cold over here in Ireland. It's more of a temperate climate, even if it's wetter, but that's great that they've stayed great. Should get a nice show off of them this year. I do still have a lot of weeding to do, but I'm going to start that this afternoon. I'm going to start weeding all the beds. Once they're weeded, then I can cut the grass and it'll look a much better area. I like to feed the birds, and I found that these are really useful. They're hard plastic, but you can use them every year, and you just put your fat ball in like that, close it, and it kind of clips together, and you can hang them around the garden. So I've got quite a few around the garden for the birds. We also have some garlic growing in the front part of the house. I'll just show you that, and I'll show you the difference that growing in an open climate as opposed to growing with the Veggie-Pod cover on. Now, the first bed hasn't got the cover on because we bought the cover and it didn't fit, so I've got another one to put on. So over the winter it's had no cover on, but the other one has, and look at the difference. So here's the one that hasn't had the cover on. It does have a few weeds in that need sorting and weeding, which I'll do in a minute. But what I'm going to do is feed these, because some of their leaves are like that, which can be lack of nutrients and too wet. So I'm going to add some chicken pellets to this. But let me show you the other one in comparison to this. Both planted at the same time. Let's lift the cover off. Look how much healthier they look. Don't they? There's no much bigger plants and healthier. So growing with the cover is definitely a big advantage. So what I'm going to do now anyway is I'm going to weed all that and feed them, and that'll be me. They seem to be the same weeds, which is really odd. There isn't even any weeds in the one with the cover on. Anyway, let's get rid of these. And then they'll stop taking any nutrients from the garlic. This is elephant garlic, by the way. Luckily enough, they're easy to weed. And these are veggie pods. Put a little pile there. So it looks like I ought to get the other cover back on here. So that's that, mostly weeded. So I'm just gonna scatter a few chicken pellets. When it rains, they'll all go soggy and go in the soil. Well, actually, now I'm going to put my hand round in case the birds come and get them. That's a bit of feed for them. Mix them in a bit. We have a lot of crows and that round here, and they'll probably just go in there and get them. Mix them in the soil a bit, it won't make it so obvious. And I'll probably give these a little bit of a later on, not today, but in a few weeks' time, some comfrey liquid. We want some nice big garlic bulbs. Well, they will be big because they're elephant garlic. But so what I'm going to have to do is go out and buy some more compost and some more of those trugs for the main crop potatoes, probably about 6. And yeah, then we'll be sorted. But the rest of the afternoon I'm going to do some weeding in those beds, and I hope everybody's all right where you are and enjoying your garden. And thank you so much for watching. If you could give it a thumbs up, it helps the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.